Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Grossman. I'm the physics teacher at Yale School. I just wanted to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about the course, a little bit about the grading, and a little bit about the topics that we'll be covering this year. First, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Grossman. I'm a retired public school teacher of over 25 years in the public schools. And then this past September, I started my career at Yale School. Glad to be here. As I mentioned, I'll be teaching, one of the courses I'll be teaching is physics. So one of the things before I share my screen and show you the physics classroom is, the Google Classroom is, I just wanted to go over some of the things that we will be talking about and have talked about. One of the topics we'll be talking about is, and we are currently talking about, is different kinds of motion in physics. We've also talked about Newton's laws. There's basically three main laws from Newton that we've talked about. Laws that we're pretty much familiar with. Newton's first law, inertia, and an object at rest tends to stay at rest, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. We talked about, using car seatbelts is a great example of Newton's first law. When you're driving and you hit the brakes and you're wearing your seatbelt, you keep moving even though the car stopped. That's an example of inertia. We talked about Newton's second law and also Newton's third law. We also are beginning to talk about acceleration, velocity, and speed. Currently, we're looking at different graphs, which graph position versus time, position versus velocity. So that helps with the understanding of what acceleration is, what speed is, and what velocity is in physics. Then we're going to begin to talk about linear motion, that's motion in one direction, and 2D motion, which would be motion in two different directions. We're going to talk about work and energy. We're going to talk about gravity, really important topic on Earth. Circular motion, heat versus temperature, the differences between the two and what they actually mean in physics. Thermodynamics, which is related to heat and temperature. Properties of light and sound. And we'll finish off the year with, the theory of relativity, Einstein's theory of relativity. So these are the topics we will or have covered in physics. We also talked about at the beginning of the year a little bit about the scientific method and using the metric system to take measurements in science, because in science we generally use the metric system. But just to kind of recap the things we're going to be talking about and have talked about is different kinds of motion, acceleration, velocity, speed, linear motion, motion in two directions, Newton's different laws and how they apply to everyday life. Work and energy, gravity, circular motion, heat and temperature, thermodynamics, properties of light and sound, and also relativity, the theory of relativity in physics. So those are the topics we'll be covering by the end of June. So right now I want to share my screen with you. I'll present my screen so you can actually see the Google Classroom for Physics, and I'll just, show you around it a little bit. So, as you know, right now, on Wednesdays, we're fully remote, so the students go to the Google Classroom for Physics. And some students come to school and some students are still on remote. But in any case, we're basically working out of the Google Classroom. So when you click on it, you'll see the stream page. Here, there are notes to the students from my teaching assistants, myself sometimes, or maybe the students one-on-one. That's where they give information. They can also give links to meet, different various Google links to meet in different classrooms. But this is the stream, and on the stream it has the name of the course. And also, if you click on the arrow, it does give you my contact information. My email would be mgrossman@yaleschoolnj.com. And it also gives you my Google Voice account number. So if you call this number, it will connect you to my phone, 856-462-1943. So that's also on the front stream homepage. And also, if you click on the classwork page, you'll also see my contact information posted here as well. The link, once again, to my email would be mgrossman@yaleschoolnj.com. And also, it gives you my Google voicemail number. And also generally during normal, when we go back to normalcy with the school, the office hours would be 2:20 to 3 p.m. by appointment. But right now, most of the students leave around 1-ish, and so a little bit after 1, I'm generally available to answer the phone as well. But let me just show you, and then I'll talk about the Google Classroom, and then I'll talk about grading to finish up. The assignments are posted daily, like for example, Monday with a date, Tuesday with a date, etc. The assignments are posted in the Google Classroom. And also the previous assignments are saved for the students in case they missed it by prior weeks. For example, last week's work is listed from week 10-12 to 10-16. So the different assignments are posted, and the past assignments are posted in the previous weeks. And they're all, once the week is up, we create a folder for the previous week and put all the work for that week. For example, here's all the work they did for the week of October 5th to October 9th. And etc. This is the assignments from the 29th of September through October 2nd, etc. So the previous weeks is saved for them in case they want to go back and make up work. It is saved in the prior week. So you would find that once again when you go to the Google Classroom, you'd go to classwork, and the students know that, and you would be able to find the current work for this week, listed by day, and also the previous week is saved in a folder listed by the week. That's the Google Classroom. Just to give you a little bit of idea about it. Just real quick to talk about grades. There's 3 sets of grades here at Yale. One of them would be the homework grade. Right now, we're not doing homework while the students are on a modified remote schedule. They're not required to do homework, but once everybody's back in the school, homework will be 15% of the grade. Task completion, which is the daily tasks they do while they're in school or while they're in the Google Classroom, they get credit for that. That counts for 15%. And then also the post tests, which would be things like projects, labs, quizzes, and tests, would be 70% of the grade. That would also be a way that we calculate the grade. One of the projects the students did was creating examples of Newton's laws for a post grade, and right now we're actually working on a lab analyzing different graphs, 8 different positional graphs versus time and velocity. That will be a post-test grade as well. We're going to finish up, or we should have finished the lab today. So that would be another example of a post-test grade. But the grades aren't kept on Google. The actual grades themselves, you can see for your students, are kept on real time, which you have access to see. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. As you know, right now the hours for the students are basically from around 8:40 to 1 o'clock. Most of the assignments are posted through the Google Classroom. If you're fully remote, that's great. If you're in school Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or you're in school 2 of the 5 days, that's also great. We're still working out of the Google Classroom for the students that are on remote as well. So please feel free to reach out to me. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, you can see at the beginning of the classroom, you can go to the stream page, which has my contact information, or the classwork page, which also has my information. If you have any questions about students' grades, how they're doing their class tasks, or any of the subjects that we're covering in physics, I'd be glad to discuss it with you. Again, if there are any questions, please reach out to me and let me know. Once again, I'm Dr. Grossman, and I'm the physics teacher at Yale School. Have a great night, and I look forward to seeing you guys at some point and talking with you soon.